Hey guys, welcome back. I told you guys last week about a dragon that needed to be named. And first of all, big thank you to everybody who decided to vote for the name that they liked. Huge thanks to SparkyFace5 who decided to share it on Twitter. Oh, I'm shedding. Who shared it on Twitter and got tons of people to help vote for a name. So this guy's name is Sparks. It won with an overwhelming majority. I think there were like 2 or 3 people who voted for Mortimer. I think a couple of like one-offs of recommended names, but Sparks had like 90% of the vote. So say hello to Sparks. So in that video where I talked about printing this guy in large scale, I said that I wanted to create a dragon bank for my nephew because I thought that he would really like it. So I did just that. However, I didn't know what I was doing. After some research, I found out that Meshmixer was the way to go, but I've never used it before. I downloaded it just so I could do this project. Luckily, it's free. I'll leave a link in the description box below to Meshmixer as well, so if you're interested in downloading it to do this, you can. I tried for like 3 hours to do this and it felt so stupid that I could not figure it out. It seemed like it should be so easy to hollow something out and create 2 holes in it, and every time I kept doing it, I kept having all sorts of issues. So finally I searched for Meshmixer help and I came across the website. I think it was All3DP maybe. I'll link to that below as well because they have a ton of information on Meshmixer and what you need to do to basically what all of the terms mean, which is really what I needed. If you're interested in seeing how I did that, then keep watching. Once I've imported the file, the first thing that I need to do is resize it. So when I printed the original one, I scaled it up 200%, so I'm going to change that to a 2 in the scale and make it uniform and then move it to the build plate. The reason why I have his feet down a little bit below the build plate is because I actually need to level those off. These feet are rounded, which will make printing a little bit more difficult, and no need to have the difficulty where it's not necessary. So once I have him in the right spot, you click OK, and next you're going to make him solid. Now it makes him really jagged looking, so first you're going to change the mesh density. I did that to 400 and made it accurate, and then updated. Then, because it still had some rough edges, I changed the solid accuracy all the way up to the top so that you had some nice crisp clean lines, and then clicked accept. Now I've got a solid figure, so I went ahead and used the plane cut so that I could cut off the very bottom parts of his feet and level those out to make them flat. So you're just going to use the arrows to drag it up or down. I'm sure there's another way to do this, but that's the way that I did it. Move it to the spot that you want, and then you're going to make sure that you have it set under cut and remesh fill, and you're going to click accept. That's going to level off his feet, and then it's time to make him hollow. So for that you go to hollow, super easy, and I just went ahead and kept it with all the standard default settings and clicked accept. Now that you have a hollow dragon, it's time to cut some holes into him. For this, you're going to click on Mesh Mix, and I'm going to start with the cube, and then you're going to resize the cube to what you're looking for. So for this, I did 30 inches, or not inches, 30 millimeters wide by 40 tall, and then 4 millimeters deep. And I did 4 millimeters deep because that is about the width of 2 silver dollars, so that you can actually put in 2 at once. Silver half dollars, not dollars. So then it's time to drag it into place, and you're going to do that just by dragging the arrows. You can kind of maneuver around with the orbit to see if it's in the right spot. Once you've got it into the position that you want, you're going to go ahead and rotate it towards the angle so that it's perpendicular with what it's leaning against. So the dragon's head, I want it as perpendicular as possible. So I changed the angle of that to 35 degrees and made sure it was in the right spot. And that was it for that one. Once you click accept, it will be there. And then it's time to move on to the second hole, which is the hole in the bottom to get the change out. So once you've got a cylinder, you're going to resize the cylinder. I chose 34 millimeters after kind of researching what would be the best for getting change out of a bank easily. I wanted something that wasn't too big, wasn't too small. Resize the height just by dragging on the little box. Now for this, I realized it would be easier if I could see the bottom of the build, so I turned off the build plate to make it a little bit easier to maneuver this into place. Next, you're going to move the cylinder up so that it's crossing through the dragon, and then you're going to combine the cylinder with the box by clicking on the cylinder and then holding down Shift and clicking on the box and then selecting Combine. Next, to remove it, you're going to select the dragon, hold down Shift, select either the cylinder or the box, and then click on Boolean Difference. And that is going to cut the holes out of the dragon. Click Accept, and now you have a perfectly hollow dragon bank with 2 holes in it. Perfect for throwing some coins into. Now that you're done with that, you're going to click on File Export so that you can save it into an STL file and be able to move it into your slicing program. Now I use Simplify 3D and I definitely recommend it if you haven't tried it. Totally worth the money. Be sure to add some supports, especially if you try to print this dragon. However, don't do what I did, which was make your supports so small that they fall over while you're printing, because obviously nobody wants a failed print. This is where it's super important to preview your print. Make sure that if there's any areas that are printing out in the middle of nowhere that you throw some supports underneath those to avoid a failed print. I chose to print this with MakerGeek's PETG. I think it's called dark blue or something like that, and it printed pretty good with minor issues. That is all I have for you guys today. I hope that you're liking videos like this. If you are, give this video a big old thumbs up and let me know in the comments below. My next video is actually my 100th video that I have posted on YouTube. So I'm gonna do something a little different. Since I've had so many new subscribers recently, I'm gonna do a get to know me video because a lot of you guys don't know who I am or what I'm about or where I came from or how I got started or any of that. So keep an eye out for my next video. Thank you to everybody who is supporting me on Patreon. I could not do videos like this without your support. It means the absolute world to me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope this video has enticed you to do so. And I hope you guys have an amazing weekend and an awesome week. And I will see you guys again next time.